Times Square is one of the most iconic locations in New York City and possibly the world. It is a bustling, frenetic hub of energy, where people from all walks of life converge to experience the quintessential New York experience. The lights, the sounds, the people, the food, the entertainment, all of it is what makes Times Square so special. Whether you are a tourist or a local, a day spent in Times Square is sure to be a memorable one. In this short documentary, we will take you on a journey through a typical day in Times Square, exploring all the sights, sounds, and experiences that make this place so unique. From the massive billboards that light up the sky to the world-class shopping and dining options, we will give you an insider's perspective on what it's like to spend a day in the heart of New York City. So, grab a cup of coffee and join us as we take a deep dive into the vibrant and dynamic world of Times Square. A vibrant and bustling hub of activity, with towering billboards and neon lights illuminating the area. It is home to some of the most iconic attractions in the city, including the bright lights of Broadway, the impressive stores and restaurants, and the historic Times Square ball drop on New Year's Eve. Visitors can spend hours exploring the area, taking in the sights and sounds of the city that never sleeps. From street performers and vendors to live music and theater, there is something for everyone in Times Square. Whether you are a first-time visitor or a seasoned New Yorker, a day in Times Square is an experience not to be missed. For those who are unaware, Times Square is a major commercial and tourist hub in New York City, located at the intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue. It is known for its bright lights, towering billboards, and bustling crowds. The area is home to numerous theaters, shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues, making it a popular destination for both locals and visitors alike. A day spent in Times Square is sure to be filled with excitement and wonder as you explore all that this iconic location has to offer. The Times Square's history is steeped in culture and entertainment. Once known as Longacre Square, it was renamed in 1904 when the New York Times moved its headquarters to the area. Over the years, it has become a symbol of the city's hustle and bustle, attracting tourists from all over the world. The bright lights, towering billboards, and massive crowds create a unique energy that is unmatched anywhere else in the world. From Broadway shows to street performers, there is always something happening in the Times Square. It is truly a place that never sleeps, with businesses and attractions open 24/7. Whether it's your first time or your 100th time visiting, a day in the Times Square is always an unforgettable experience. Interestingly, the original design of Times Square dates back to 1904 when the area was first named. The square was designed by architect John Carrere and his partner Thomas Hastings, who had won a competition to create a new urban entertainment district in New York City. Over the years, many other architects and designers have contributed to the development of Times Square, including the famous lighting designer, Zachary Fisher. Today, the square is a major landmark in New York City and attracts millions of visitors each year with its bright lights, bustling crowds, and iconic billboards.
History of the Longacre Square. Before it was renamed Times Square in 1904, the area was known as Longacre Square. The name originated from the Longacre district in London, which was famous for its carriage trade. In the late 19th century, the area became a hub for the city's horse-drawn streetcars and was also home to many theaters and entertainment venues. As the popularity of the automobile grew, the horse-drawn transportation industry declined, and the area became known for its bright lights, billboards, and bustling atmosphere. Today, Times Square remains a major tourist destination and one of the most iconic and recognizable locations in the world. John Carrier and Thomas Hastings were two prominent architects who were responsible for designing some of the most iconic buildings in New York City during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Together, they founded the architectural firm Carrier and Hastings, which became one of the most successful and influential in the country. Some of their most notable works include the New York Public Library, the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, and the Brooklyn Museum. Their architectural style was known for its Beaux-Arts and Renaissance revival influences, and their buildings remain some of the most recognizable and beloved landmarks in New York City today.
1. Fast-paced crowds fill sidewalks. A day in Times Square, New York City is characterized by the hustle and bustle of fast-paced crowds filling sidewalks. As one of the busiest tourist destinations in the world, Times Square sees millions of visitors every year. The sidewalks are lined with an array of shops, restaurants, and attractions, all vying for the attention of visitors. The energy is palpable as people rush to their next destination, creating a vibrant atmosphere that is unique to Times Square. Despite the crowds, visitors can still enjoy the sights and sounds of the city by taking a leisurely stroll through one of the world's most iconic locations. It's a place where the bright lights, bustling crowds, and towering billboards never seem to stop. Visiting Times Square can be overwhelming at first, but there's always something to see or do. From catching a Broadway show to trying out the latest food trend, there's no shortage of entertainment options in this energetic neighborhood. As you wander through the streets, you may come across street performers, costumed characters, and plenty of selfie opportunities. Despite its reputation as a tourist hub, Times Square is still beloved by locals for its lively atmosphere and endless possibilities. Whether you're a first-time visitor or a frequent traveler, a day in Times Square is sure to be a memorable experience.
2. Shimmering lights illuminate skyscrapers. A day in Times Square, New York City is an experience unlike any other. One of the most iconic features of this bustling tourist destination is the shimmering lights that illuminate the skyscrapers. The neon signs and digital billboards that adorn the buildings create a dazzling display of color and movement that captures the attention of visitors from all over the world. The sheer magnitude of the lights and the energy they emit can be overwhelming, but it is all part of the Times Square experience. Whether you are strolling through the area during the day or taking in the sights at night, the shimmering lights of the skyscrapers are sure to leave a lasting impression on anyone who visits this iconic destination. The energy of Times Square is unparalleled, with tourists and locals alike bustling through the busy streets, taking in the sights and sounds of the city that never sleeps. The vibrant billboards and neon lights that adorn the buildings create a dazzling spectacle, making it easy to lose track of time while exploring the area. From world-renowned theaters to bustling restaurants and bars, there's something for everyone in Times Square. Whether you're visiting for the first time or you're a seasoned New Yorker, a day in Times Square is sure to be a memorable.
3. Vendors sell souvenirs and snacks. A day in the Times Square, New York City, is incomplete without visiting the vendors who sell souvenirs and snacks. These vendors are an integral part of the hustle and bustle of the Times Square and offer a wide variety of products to visitors. From t-shirts and keychains to hats and mugs, visitors can find numerous souvenirs to take back home as a memory of their visit to this iconic location. Additionally, there are several vendors who offer snacks and beverages to visitors, making it easy to grab a quick bite or a refreshing drink while exploring the area. But the real charm of Times Square lies in its vibrant energy and entertainment options. From street performers and musicians to Broadway shows and movie theaters, there is something for everyone here. Visitors can catch a glimpse of characters in elaborate costumes, take a ride on the famous Ferris wheel at the Toys R Us flagship store, or snap a picture in front of the iconic Times Square Ball. The constantly changing neon lights and billboards create a dazzling spectacle that has made Times Square a symbol of New York City itself. A day in Times Square is an unforgettable experience that captures the essence of the city that never sleeps. These vendors are a significant part of the Times Square experience and add to the overall ambience of the area.
4. Broadway shows captivate audiences. Broadway shows captivate audiences with their stunning performances and unforgettable storylines. A day in the Times Square, New York City is incomplete without experiencing a Broadway show. From classic productions like Phantom of the Opera to newer hits like Hamilton, Broadway offers a wide variety of shows to suit every taste. Broadway theaters are known for their grandeur and exquisite design, making the experience even more memorable. With talented actors, singers, and dancers, Broadway shows transport audiences to a different world, leaving them in awe of the performance. Times Square is the epicenter of Broadway, boasting some of the most iconic theaters in the world.
5. Colorful billboards advertise upcoming events. A day in the Times Square, New York City is an experience like no other. The bustling area is known for its bright lights, exciting atmosphere, and of course, its colorful billboards. As you walk through the streets, you'll notice that these billboards are everywhere, with each one advertising upcoming events ranging from Broadway shows to music festivals. The vibrant displays are created to catch the attention of the millions of people who visit Times Square every year, and they do an excellent job of it. These billboards are not just ordinary advertisements, but they are a unique form of art that showcases the creativity and innovation of the designers. The vibrant colors and bold typography of the billboards make them hard to miss, and the messages they convey are often thought-provoking and inspiring. As you stroll through Times Square, you will also notice street performers, musicians, and artists showcasing their talent to the crowds. The energy of the crowds and the hustle and bustle of the city make for a thrilling and unforgettable experience. If you're ever in New York City, a visit to Times Square is a must-do activity that will leave you with memories that will last a lifetime. Whether you're a local or a visitor, it's impossible not to be captivated by the colorful billboards that adorn the buildings in Times Square.
6. Tourists take selfies with mascots. A visit to Times Square in New York City can be a memorable experience for anyone, including tourists. One of the popular activities among tourists is to take selfies with the mascots that roam around the area. These mascots, who don colorful and eye-catching costumes, can be seen posing with visitors while adding a fun and playful element to their trip. The mascots are often dressed as popular cartoon characters or superheroes, and tourists can often be seen lining up to take photos with them. This activity has become a staple for many tourists visiting Times Square and adds to the vibrant and bustling atmosphere of the area. You can also find some of the most famous Broadway theaters here, such as the Lyric Theatre, the Majestic Theatre, and the Palace Theatre. These theaters host some of the most popular shows in the world, such as The Lion King, Hamilton, and Wicked. If you're a theater lover, a day in Times Square wouldn't be complete without catching a show. There are also many restaurants and bars in the area, ranging from fast food joints to high-end dining options, so you'll never go hungry. Overall, a day in Times Square is an unforgettable experience that showcases the best of what New York City has to offer.
7. Pedestrian Plaza offers public seating. One of the attractions that visitors to Times Square, New York City can enjoy is the pedestrian plaza that offers public seating. The plaza is located in the heart of Times Square and is a great place to relax and take in the sights and sounds of the area. The plaza provides ample seating for visitors to sit and take a break from the hustle and bustle of the city. It's a great spot for people watching, as you can observe the diverse crowds that pass through the area. The seating in the pedestrian plaza is designed to be comfortable and accessible to all, making it an inviting space for everyone to enjoy. From here, you can take in the sights and sounds of the bustling city. The towering billboards advertising the latest Broadway shows and the bright lights of the neon signs for famous brands are a sight to behold. The energy of the city is palpable as the crowds of people make their way through the pedestrian plaza. You can grab a bite to eat from one of the many food vendors or restaurants, or simply sit back and people watch. And if you're lucky, you may even catch a street performance or two. A day in Times Square is truly an unforgettable experience that showcases the vibrant and diverse culture of New York City. Whether you're a local or a tourist, the pedestrian plaza is a must-visit attraction in Times Square. 8. Street performers entertain passers-by. A day in the Times Square, New York City is incomplete without experiencing the vibrant energy of street performers. As you take a stroll through the bustling streets, you'll find a diverse range of performers showcasing their talents and entertaining passers-by. From musicians and dancers to acrobats and magicians, the street performers in Times Square are a testament to the city's rich cultural heritage and artistic diversity. As you watch these performers, you'll be captivated by the passion and dedication they put into their craft, leaving you with an unforgettable experience that captures the true essence of New York City. Besides the street performers, Times Square is also known for its bright, flashing billboards, which display everything from the latest Broadway shows to the newest fashion trends. You can take a stroll down the pedestrian mall and marvel at the glitz and glamour of this iconic intersection. And if you're feeling peckish, there are an array of restaurants and food carts serving up some of the city's finest cuisine, from hot dogs and pizza to sushi and lobster rolls. Whether you're a tourist visiting for the first time or a local New Yorker, spending a day in Times Square is a must-do activity that will leave you feeling energized and inspired. So, if you're planning a visit to Times Square, be sure to take a moment to appreciate and support these talented individuals who bring life and joy to the city's vibrant streets. 9. Stores offer endless shopping options. A day in the Times Square, New York City is an unparalleled shopping experience that offers endless shopping options. Stores ranging from designer boutiques, high-end department stores, and budget-friendly chains can all be found in this bustling area. The district is a shopper's paradise, boasting some of the largest and most diverse retail establishments in the city. From the iconic flagship stores to small specialty shops, Times Square has everything you need and more. The area is known for its window displays, and you can spend hours walking around admiring the creative and eye-catching displays. The shopping experience in Times Square is unparalleled and is a must-visit destination for any shopping enthusiast. The area boasts a wide variety of shops ranging from high-end luxury brand stores to affordable souvenir shops. One can explore the massive flagship stores of popular brands like Nike, Levi's, and Forever 21, or wander around the famous Mandem's World, where you can find every imaginable Mandem's merchandise. Visitors can also check out the world's largest toy store, Toys R Us, which offers a vast array of toys, games, and collectibles. The shopping experience is made even more thrilling by the constant hustle-bustle of the area and the bright lights of the billboards that line the streets. A day in the Times Square is undoubtedly an unforgettable experience for anyone who loves shopping. Times Square is home to some of the biggest and most popular stores, such as the Disney Store, Mandem's World, and the Forever 21 flagship store. Whether you're looking for souvenirs, clothing, or electronics, you'll find it all in Times Square. Plus, there are plenty of street vendors selling everything from hot dogs to handmade jewelry. And if you need a break from shopping, there are numerous restaurants, cafes, and food vendors to choose from, so you can refuel and continue your exploration of Times Square.
10. Iconic ball drop on NYC. One of the most iconic events in New York City is the ball drop on New Year's Eve in Times Square. The tradition began in 1907 and has since become a global symbol of ringing in the new year. Every year, millions of people from all over the world gather in Times Square to witness the spectacle. The ball, weighing over 11,000 pounds and adorned with thousands of LED lights, slowly descends from the top of a pole at 11:59 p.m. on December 31st, reaching the bottom at the stroke of midnight. The energy and excitement of being in Times Square on New Year's Eve is indescribable. People bundle up in warm clothes and bring blankets and snacks to wait for hours in the cold, just to be a part of this incredible experience. As the ball drops, the crowd erupts into cheers and screams, fireworks light up the sky, and confetti rains down from the buildings. It's a moment that will stay with you forever, and one that captures the magic of New York City. Whether you're a local or a visitor, a day spent in Times Square is always filled with unforgettable memories and endless opportunities to explore. The event is broadcasted on television and watched by millions more worldwide. The ball drop on NYC is a timeless tradition that brings together people from all walks of life to celebrate the start of a new year. But Times Square has so much more to offer beyond just one night of the year. The bustling energy, bright lights, and constant flow of people make it a one-of-a-kind experience any day of the year. Stroll through the pedestrian walkways and take in the larger-than-life billboards advertising the latest Broadway shows and blockbuster movies. stop by the famous TKTS booth to score discounted tickets to a Broadway show or take a ride on the iconic Ferris wheel in the heart of the square. And don't forget to grab a bite to eat at one of the many restaurants in the area, ranging from classic New York delis to trendy rooftop bars. A day in Times Square is sure to be a memorable experience that captures the essence of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. Times Square is bustling with activity at all hours of the day. The bright lights, towering billboards, and bustling crowds create an atmosphere unlike any other. Visitors can take a leisurely stroll through the area, grabbing a bite to eat from one of the many food trucks or restaurants nearby. Alternatively, they can immerse themselves in the entertainment scene, catching a Broadway show or checking out the latest exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art. Whatever your interests, a day in Times Square is sure to be a memorable one. Lovers in the Times Square. The hustle and bustle of Times Square can be overwhelming for some, but for others, it's the perfect place for a romantic getaway. Couples can be seen strolling hand in hand, taking in the sights and sounds of this iconic location. The bright lights and the buzzing energy of the city create a unique atmosphere that's hard to find anywhere else. Many couples also choose to ride the famous Ferris wheel in Times Square, which offers breathtaking views of the city skyline. Whether it's for a romantic date night or a proposal, Times Square is the perfect backdrop for any love story. As I walked through the bustling crowds and neon lights of Times Square, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and wonder. The energy of the city was infectious, and I found myself getting lost in the chaos of it all. Suddenly, I saw her. She was standing by the TKTS booth, browsing the available shows. I couldn't take my eyes off her. I walked over to her, my heart beating faster with each step. We started talking, and before I knew it, we were laughing and having the time of our lives. As the night went on, we explored the city together, taking in the sights and sounds of the city that never sleeps. It was a day I would never forget, a day that marked my memory forever. As I strolled around the bustling streets of Times Square, I felt the energy of the city pulsating through my veins. The giant billboards illuminated the night sky as if it were daytime, and the sounds of honking taxis and street performers filled the air. I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and wonder as I took it all in. From the bright lights to the never-ending crowds, Times Square truly encapsulated the essence of New York City. It was a day I will never forget, and I can't wait to go back and experience it all over again. Major disasters at the Times Square include the 2010 car bomb attempt, which fortunately failed due to a faulty detonator, and the 2016 shooting incident that left one person dead and several others injured. Despite these events, Times Square remains a top destination for tourists and locals alike. The area offers a wide range of entertainment options, from Broadway shows to street performers, and an abundance of dining and shopping opportunities. A day in the Times Square is sure to be a memorable experience, with its vibrant energy and iconic landmarks, such as the famous New Year's Eve ball drop. Major artists who performed at the Times Square with dates include Elton John on New Year's Eve 2000, Lady Gaga on New Year's Eve 2011, and Mariah Carey on New Year's Eve 2016. The area is also home to countless Broadway shows, featuring the best musicals and plays in the world. Visitors can catch a show at one of the many theaters in the area, including the famous Lyceum Theatre and the Palace Theatre. The bustling atmosphere of Times Square is also home to a variety of restaurants, cafes, and shops, making it the perfect place to spend a day exploring. Whether you're looking to see the latest Broadway hit, indulge in some retail therapy, or simply soak up the lively atmosphere, Times Square has something for everyone. Stampede at the Times Square. Unfortunately, there have been instances in the past where a day in the Times Square has turned chaotic due to overcrowding. One such incident occurred on New Year's Eve 2019, when a stampede broke out, injuring several people. The cause of the stampede was unclear, but it is believed to have been triggered by a loud noise mistaken for gunfire. In the wake of this unfortunate event, the city authorities have taken measures to ensure the safety of visitors to the Times Square, such as increasing police presence and erecting barriers to control the flow of the crowd. Despite such incidents, the Times Square remains one of the most iconic and popular destinations in the world, attracting millions of visitors every year. However, not all days spent in Times Square may be as enjoyable as expected. On some occasions, the experience can turn sour, as was the case for one unfortunate visitor who was recently arrested in the area. The hustle and bustle of the vibrant district can attract all sorts of individuals, including those who may not have the best intentions. It is important to stay vigilant and aware of your surroundings at all times when exploring Times Square, or any other crowded tourist destination for that matter. Despite the occasional unpleasant experience, however, a day in the Times Square remains an unforgettable and exhilarating experience that should be on every traveler's bucket list. Guns are not allowed in Times Square or any public areas in New York City. The city has strict gun control laws that prohibit the possession, sale, and use of firearms except for law enforcement officers and other authorized personnel. Visitors to Times Square can enjoy the attractions and entertainment without worrying about the presence of firearms. However, it is important to remain vigilant and aware of your surroundings at all times, as with any crowded tourist destination. One of the most memorable experiences one can have in Times Square is stumbling upon a wedding ceremony. It's not uncommon to see couples exchanging vows in the middle of the bustling square, surrounded by a sea of strangers who become instant witnesses to their love story. The energy of Times Square seems to magnify the joy and excitement of the couple tying the knot, creating a truly magical moment for all involved. Whether you're a local or a tourist, stumbling upon a Times Square wedding is a reminder that love can be found in the most unexpected places, even in the heart of New York City's busiest intersection. The Times Square is not only a popular tourist spot, but also a hub of business activities. Many companies launch their products in the Times Square, taking advantage of the massive footfall and attention it receives. The dazzling billboards and neon lights add to the grandeur of the launch, making it an unforgettable experience. People halt on the streets to witness the launch event, and many companies even conduct live performances and interactive sessions to engage the audience. If you happen to be in the Times Square during a product launch, you can witness the excitement and energy of the event, and who knows, you might even get a chance to try out the product. Over the years, the Times Square has been visited by numerous presidents of the United States. The most notable being President Harry Truman, who was present at the Times Square on VJ Day, when the public celebrated the end of World War II. Additionally, President Bill Clinton celebrated New Year's Eve at the Times Square in 1999, where he pushed the button to start the famous ball drop. More recently, President Barack Obama visited the Times Square during his re-election campaign in 2012. As such, the Times Square has become a significant location for political events in the United States. On a typical day at Times Square, you can expect to see buskers performing on the street, vendors selling snacks and souvenirs, and tourists taking selfies against the backdrop of the bright lights. However, on occasion, you might see something unexpected, such as politicians making an appearance. During election season, it's common for senators and other political figures to hold press conferences or rallies in Times Square, taking advantage of the bustling crowds and high visibility. Even outside of campaign season, you might catch a glimpse of a senator or two walking through the square on their way to a nearby meeting or event. With so much activity and energy, Times Square is always a dynamic and exciting place to be, no matter who else is there. As I walked through Times Square, I couldn't help but notice the commotion surrounding a foreign president's visit. Large crowds had gathered at the intersection, brandishing flags and banners of their respective countries. The air was electric with excitement as the president's motorcade made its way through the crowded streets. I watched as the president stepped out of his car and onto the red carpet, greeted by cheers and applause from the adoring crowd. Cameras flashed as he made his way towards the stage, where he was scheduled to give a speech. Despite the chaos and noise, the atmosphere was one of unity and celebration. People from all walks of life had come together to witness this historic moment, and the energy was contagious. As the president began his speech in the heart of Times Square, the crowd of people gathered around him cheered and waved American flags in excitement. The neon lights illuminated the entire area, creating a vibrant and bustling atmosphere. Street performers entertained the crowds with their incredible acts, while vendors sold hot dogs and pretzels to hungry visitors. The energy in Times Square was infectious, drawing people from all over the world to experience the magic of this iconic location. Whether it's taking a stroll through the nearby Central Park or catching a Broadway show, a day in Times Square is an unforgettable experience that should be on every traveler's bucket list.
Happiness and joy at the Times Square. The Times Square is a place that radiates joy and happiness. The bright lights, lively atmosphere, and diverse crowd make it a place where everyone can find something to enjoy. From street performers to world-class restaurants, there is no shortage of entertainment in this iconic location. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and energy of the Times Square, making it a perfect destination for a day out with friends and family. Whether you're a tourist or a local, a day in the Times Square is an experience that you won't forget anytime soon. I saw a couple holding hands, hugging and kissing in the middle of the bustling square and couldn't help but feel the romantic vibe of the city. I walked slowly towards the couple. They were sitting on a bench in the middle of a bustling square, hugging and kissing each other. I couldn't help but feel the romantic vibe of the city. I felt a wave of emotion wash over me as I watched the couple embrace, their love for each other radiating throughout the square. Surrounded by the noise of the city, they seemed blissfully unaware of the world around them, lost in their own private moment. For a moment, I felt like I was intruding, but I also felt a part of something special, like I was experiencing the romantic essence of the city. I couldn't help but feel a sense of happiness as I watched them, feeling inspired by the strength of their bond. It was clear to me that they would be friends for life, and I felt my heart swell with joy that I had been privileged enough to witness such a beautiful connection. Their connection was so strong that it left an undeniable mark on me, and I was left with a lasting impression of hope and optimism. As I walked through the Times Square, my eyes came across another couple, an older couple, who were lost in the euphoria of an eternal embrace. It was a heartwarming sight to witness the tenderness and love shared between them. Their intimate moments seem to encapsulate the beauty of a long-lasting relationship, where two individuals are still deeply in love even after many years of being together. The couple's embrace demonstrated that love knows no bounds of age and that it is indeed possible to keep the spark alive. As I continued on my walk, I couldn't help but feel a sense of hope and optimism for my own future relationships. As I was taking a stroll in the park, a couple approached me and requested my assistance in taking a picture of them. I immediately obliged and positioned them in an ideal spot, ensuring the lighting and composition were optimal. I then proceeded to capture the moment with their cell phone camera, ensuring that the focus and exposure were calibrated to perfection. As a professional photographer, I understand the importance of capturing moments like these with precision and care. It was my pleasure to assist the couple and ensure that they had a beautiful photograph to commemorate their time together. During my stay at the Times Square, I had the opportunity to meet yet another couple who were in need of a photograph. However, they were having difficulty deciding on the appropriate posture for their picture. After a brief discussion, I was able to provide them with guidance on how to pose professionally, resulting in a high-quality photograph captured by their iPhone camera. As someone with experience in photography, it was gratifying to be able to assist others in achieving their desired photo outcome. I am always eager to help people capture their memories in the best way possible, and it was a pleasure to do so for this couple. As I observed the crowd in Times Square, a striking observation that emerged was that almost all of the people present were couples. What was even more noteworthy was the fact that they all seemed to be immensely happy, as evidenced by the smiles on their faces. This observation stood out to me as a testament to the power of love and companionship, particularly in a bustling and often chaotic urban environment. It was inspiring to witness so many people seemingly swept up in the joy of their relationships, and it served as a reminder of the importance of cultivating strong and fulfilling connections with others. As I observed the couple strolling hand in hand through Times Square in New York City, I couldn't help but wonder if the vibrant energy and iconic surroundings were responsible for their apparent happiness. Studies have shown that one's environment can have a significant impact on their mood and overall well-being, and the bustling atmosphere of Times Square certainly has the potential to uplift one's spirits. However, it is important to consider that happiness is subjective and can stem from a variety of factors, such as personal relationships, life goals, and individual values. Further research and analysis would be necessary to determine the extent to which Times Square plays a role in the happiness of those who visit. Observing a group of individuals in the midst of a public setting, I noticed several females adorned with minimal clothing and the phrase, "I love NYC," painted on their bodies. These women appeared to be engaged in the act of taking photographs with passers-by for a nominal tip. While this behavior may be deemed unconventional or even controversial by some, it is ultimately within their rights to express themselves in such a manner. It is important to recognize and respect the autonomy of individuals and their choices, as long as they do not infringe upon the rights and well-being of others. As you stroll through the bustling streets, you'll be greeted by the famous billboards and electronic screens that light up the night sky. The neon lights and dazzling advertisements will leave you in awe. You can also catch street performers showcasing their talents, from musicians to acrobats and even magicians. The atmosphere of Times Square is truly unique, and it's easy to see why it's referred to as the crossroads of the world. After a long day of exploring, you can indulge in the diverse culinary offerings, from classic New York-style pizza to international cuisine. A day in Times Square is an unforgettable experience that captures the essence of New York City. Poem to NYC. Oh, my beloved New York City. The city of dreams and aspirations. How I love you. Your bright lights and bustling streets. Your towering buildings and unique skyline. Your never-ending energy and vibrance. Your endless opportunity and promise, your amazing people and culture. Your opportunity to experience the world and its wonders. Your food. Your music. Your art. Your fashion. All these things and more fill my heart with an immense and unconditional love for you. My love for you is unconditional, it knows no bounds, no limits, and no end. I promise to always show you how much I care for you, no matter what the circumstances may be. My love is unwavering and steadfast, for you and only you. No matter what life throws our way, no matter what unexpected circumstances may arise, my love for you will remain unaltered and constant. My love is unwavering and steadfast, for you and only you. I promise to be there for you through thick and thin, to support you and uplift you when you need it most. You are my everything, and I will always love you with my entire heart.
In conclusion, Times Square in New York City is a must-see destination for anyone visiting the city. The bustling atmosphere, bright lights, and diverse range of entertainment options make it an exciting and unforgettable experience. Whether you're a first-time visitor or a seasoned New Yorker, there's always something new to discover in this iconic location. From Broadway shows to world-class shopping, Times Square truly has something for everyone. So, take a day to explore and immerse yourself.
New York City is a melting pot of cultures and traditions, with a rich history and a vibrant present. It is a city that has been shaped by the hands of many fathers and makers, each leaving their mark on the city's landscape and character. From architects to politicians, entrepreneurs to artists, New York City has been home to some of the most influential and visionary minds in the world. This detailed list of the fathers and makers of NYC celebrates the people who have contributed to making New York City what it is today. The legacy of these fathers and makers is evident in the iconic landmarks, buildings, and institutions that define New York City. From the Empire State Building to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, each contribution adds to the city's allure and charm. Behind each of these achievements lie fascinating stories of perseverance, creativity, and ingenuity. This list aims to uncover these stories and shed light on the remarkable individuals who shaped the city's past and present. Whether you are a lifelong New Yorker or a history buff, the detailed list of the fathers and makers of NYC is a fascinating story. From the visionary leaders who laid out the city's grid system to the immigrants who helped shape its diverse cultural landscape, this list provides a comprehensive look at the people who helped make New York what it is today. Whether you're interested in the city's architecture, politics, or social history, there's something in this list for everyone. So if you're planning a trip to the Big Apple or just looking to deepen your understanding of its rich history, be sure to check out this detailed list of the fathers and makers of NYC. 1. Peterman Wheat, founder of NYC. Peterman Wheat, a Dutch colonist, is widely recognized as the founder of New York City. He was born sometime in the late 16th century and arrived in the New World in 1626 as the director of the Dutch West India Company. Minuit is best known for his purchase of Manhattan Island from the Lenape people for 60 guilders, approximately $24 at the time. While the exact details of the transaction are unknown, it is clear that Minuit played a key role in the establishment of New Amsterdam, which served as the Dutch colonial capital in North America. As a skilled administrator and diplomat, Minuit was instrumental in building strong trade relationships with Native American tribes and European powers. His legacy is still visible in New York City today, as many landmarks and institutions bear his name or reference his contributions to the city's early development. The list of accomplishments of Peter Minuit. Peter Minuit was a prominent figure in the early history of New York City, serving as the third Director General of New Netherland from 1626 to 1633. During his time in office, Minuit oversaw the establishment of the Dutch colony of New Amsterdam on the southern tip of Manhattan Island. He is perhaps best known for his famous purchase of Manhattan Island from the Lenape Indians for the sum of 60 guilders, which is often cited as one of the most significant real estate deals in history. In addition to this, Minuit also oversaw the construction of several important structures in the fledgling colony, including Fort Amsterdam, the first government building in New Amsterdam, and the Stadthuis. The first city hall in NYC was built in 1700 and was constructed by Thomas White, a prominent English architect. The city hall was the seat of government for the city and was where important decisions were made that shaped the growth and development of the city. The city hall was also the site of many important events, such as the inauguration of George Washington as the first president of the United States. Other notable figures featured on the list are Robert Moses, the master builder who transformed the city's infrastructure, and Jane Jacobs, an urbanist and activist who fought against Moses' plans and advocated for community-driven development. This detailed list serves as a reminder of the diverse group of individuals who have contributed to the growth and development of New York City over the centuries. 2. Alexander Hamilton, creator of the U.S. financial system. Alexander Hamilton is widely recognized as one of the fathers and makers of New York City. Born in the Caribbean, Hamilton migrated to New York City as a teenager to pursue his education. He soon became involved in the American Revolution and played a crucial role in the war effort. However, Hamilton's most significant contribution to American history was his creation of the United States financial system. As the first Secretary of the Treasury, he established a national bank, implemented a system of tariffs and taxes, and developed the concept of public credit. Hamilton's financial policies were instrumental in stabilizing the economy and securing the new nation's future. His legacy lives on in New York City, where he was buried in Trinity Church's graveyard. Who are the parents of Alexander Hamilton? While Alexander Hamilton is undoubtedly an important figure in the history of New York City, he is not considered one of the fathers or makers of the city. However, his parents were Rachel Fossett Levine and James A. Hamilton, both of whom were born in the Caribbean. Rachel was of mixed race and was married to John Levine before she met James. James was a Scottish trader and Rachel's second husband. Alexander was born out of wedlock on the island of Nevis in the West Indies but later moved to New York City to pursue his education and eventually become one of the founding fathers of the United States. Hamilton at the theater. One of the most prominent fathers of NYC on the list is Alexander Hamilton. As one of the founding fathers of the United States, he played a vital role in shaping the economic and political landscape of the nation. Hamilton was a key architect of the U.S. Constitution and the first Secretary of the Treasury, where he established the country's financial system. He was also a prolific writer and author of the Federalist Papers, which helped to persuade New York to ratify the Constitution. Hamilton's legacy continues to be celebrated in New York City, with the hit Broadway musical Hamilton drawing crowds and accolades for its portrayal of his life and achievements. Broadway musical Hamilton at the Times Square. The Broadway musical Hamilton has brought the history of New York City's founding fathers to life in a whole new way. The show tells the story of Alexander Hamilton, one of the key figures in the early days of New York. It's a high-energy production with an incredible score that has won over audiences from around the world. The show's popularity has even led to an increase in interest in the city's history, with many fans seeking out more information about the founding fathers and makers of NYC. 3. Robert Moses, Master Builder. Robert Moses is widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in the development of New York City. A master builder, Moses was responsible for the construction of numerous public works projects throughout the city, including roads, bridges, parks, and housing developments. His work had a profound impact on the city's infrastructure and urban landscape, and his legacy continues to be felt to this day. Moses was known for his authoritarian approach to urban planning, and he often clashed with community groups and elected officials who opposed his projects. Despite this, his contributions to the city's growth and development are undeniable, and his name remains synonymous with the transformation of New York into a modern metropolis. The list of accomplishments of Robert Moses include the development of Jones Beach State Park and other recreational facilities in Long Island, the construction of numerous highways, including the Cross Bronx Expressway and the Long Island Expressway, the creation of the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority, which oversaw the construction and operation of several bridges and tunnels in the city, the expansion of the New York City subway system, including the construction of the IND and BMT lines, the construction of the United Nations headquarters in Manhattan, the development of Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, the construction of Shea Stadium and the renovation of Yankee Stadium, the creation of the New York State Power Authority, which oversaw the construction of hydroelectric power plants in the state. Moses is perhaps one of the most well-known figures on the list of fathers and makers of New York City. Robert Moses was a public official and urban planner who exerted significant influence over the development of the city in the mid-20th century. He served in several high-ranking positions, including the head of the New York State Parks Commission and the chairman of the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority. Moses is credited with overseeing the construction of numerous bridges, highways, and public works projects that helped modernize the city and improve transportation. However, his legacy is also marred by accusations of racism and elitism, as many of his urban renewal projects displaced low-income residents and minority communities. Nonetheless, his impact on the physical landscape of New York City is still visible today, with some of his most notable contributions including the design of Central Park, the Washington Square Arch, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Another important figure on the list is Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury and one of the founding fathers of the United States. Hamilton played a crucial role in the development of New York City as a financial hub, and his ideas helped shape the economic policies of the country. 4. John Roebling, designer of Brooklyn Bridge. John Roebling, born in Germany in 1806, was a celebrated engineer and designer of suspension bridges. He is best known for designing the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, which spans the East River and connects Manhattan and Brooklyn. Roebling's innovative design revolutionized bridge engineering and made him a household name in the world of civil engineering. He was a meticulous planner, and his attention to detail is evident in the numerous successful projects he undertook throughout his career. However, Roebling's life was cut short due to a tragic accident during the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. Despite this, his contributions to the field of engineering and his impact on the New York City skyline are undeniable. Today, his legacy lives on in the magnificent structures he designed and the countless lives he impacted through his work. The list of accomplishments of John Roebling, his life and achievements include the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, which was considered a marvel of engineering at the time. Roebling's innovative use of steel cables and suspension systems made it possible to span the East River and connect Manhattan and Brooklyn. His work on the bridge was cut short when he died from a foot injury that became infected, but his son Washington Roebling took over and completed the project. John Roebling was also known for his work on other suspension bridges, including the Cincinnati-Covington Bridge and the Niagara Falls Suspension Bridge. His contributions to the field of engineering have had a lasting impact on New York City and the world. 5. Daniel Burnham, architect of Flatiron Building. Daniel Burnham is widely recognized as one of the fathers and makers of New York City, particularly for his work as the architect of the Flatiron Building. Born in Henderson, New York in 1846, Burnham began his career as an apprentice in the architectural firm of William W. Boyington in Chicago. In 1873, he formed his own firm with partner John W. Root, which would go on to become one of the most renowned architectural firms in the country. Burnham was known for his innovative designs and his ability to integrate art and architecture seamlessly. His work on the Flatiron Building is a testament to his genius, as the building remains an iconic symbol of New York City to this day. Despite his contributions to the world of architecture, Burnham's legacy extends far beyond his professional accomplishments. He was also an advocate for public parks and spaces, and his work helped to shape the urban landscape of New York City and other major cities across the United States. Challenges faced by Daniel Burnham include: one of the major challenges faced by Daniel Burnham was the limited availability of space in the city. He had to work with the narrow and crowded streets of New York City, which made it difficult to design and construct buildings that could provide ample living and working space. Additionally, he had to deal with issues such as zoning and building codes, which were not well developed at the time. Burnham had to navigate these challenges while still creating buildings that were aesthetically pleasing and functional. Despite these difficulties, Burnham was able to make significant contributions to the development of the city, including the iconic Flatiron Building. 6. Andrew Carnegie, steel magnate, philanthropist. Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-American industrialist and philanthropist who played a crucial role in the development of the American steel industry. Born in Dunfermline, Scotland, in 1835, Carnegie immigrated to the United States with his family in 1848. After working a series of odd jobs, he landed a position as a telegraph operator for the Pennsylvania Railroad, where he quickly rose through the ranks to become a superintendent. In the 1870s, Carnegie began investing in the steel industry, eventually forming the Carnegie Steel Company, which became one of the largest and most successful steel companies in the world. Despite his immense wealth, Carnegie was a renowned philanthropist and donated vast sums of money to support education, the arts, and scientific research. He is widely regarded as one of the fathers and makers of New York City, and his enduring legacy continues to inspire generations of entrepreneurs and philanthropists to this day. 7. Robert Fulton, inventor of steamboat. Robert Fulton, born on November 14, 1765, was an American inventor and engineer who played a significant role in the development of transportation technology. He is best known for inventing the first commercially successful steamboat, which revolutionized water transportation and laid the foundation for modern steamship design. Fulton's steamboat made its first successful voyage on the Hudson River from New York City to Albany in 1807, which significantly reduced travel time and costs. This invention played a crucial role in the growth of commerce and trade in New York City and made it into a major port city. Fulton's contributions to the transportation industry earned him a place in the pantheon of the fathers and makers of New York City. His legacy continues to inspire inventors and innovators worldwide. 8. Auguste Belmont, developer of NYC subway. Auguste Belmont was a prominent 19th century financier and socialite who played a pivotal role in the development of New York City's transportation infrastructure. Born in Germany in 1816, Belmont immigrated to the United States in 1837 and quickly established himself as a successful banker and businessman. In the late 1800s, he became the driving force behind the construction of New York City's first subway system, which opened to the public in 1904. Belmont's vision and leadership were instrumental in bringing about this transformative project, which revolutionized transportation in the city and laid the foundation for its continued growth and prosperity. Today, Auguste Belmont's legacy lives on as one of the fathers and makers of New York City, whose contributions to its history and development will be remembered for generations to come. 9. Jacob Javits, Senator, Advocate for NYC. Jacob Javits was a prominent politician and advocate for New York City during the mid-20th century. He served as a United States Senator for the state of New York from 1957 to 1981 and played a key role in the passage of several significant pieces of legislation. Javits was known for his progressive views on civil rights, social welfare, and foreign policy, and he was a vocal advocate for the city of New York throughout his political career. He played a key role in securing federal funding for major infrastructure projects in the city, including the construction of the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts and the expansion of the New York City subway system. Javits was also a strong supporter of the arts, and he helped establish the National Endowment for the Arts during his time in the Senate. He remains an important figure in the history of New York City politics and is remembered as a tireless advocate for the people of the city. 10. Fiorello LaGuardia, NYC Mayor. Fiorello LaGuardia is considered one of the most prominent fathers and makers of modern-day New York City. He served as the city's mayor from 1934 to 1945, during which time he implemented numerous sweeping reforms, including improving infrastructure, expanding public transportation, and creating new public housing. LaGuardia was also known for his progressive policies, such as supporting workers' rights and advocating for civil rights. He was a vocal opponent of corruption and worked tirelessly to clean up the city's politics. LaGuardia's legacy is still felt in New York City today, as he helped shape the city into the bustling metropolis it is today. The achievements, accomplishments, challenges and failures of Fiorello LaGuardia. Fiorello LaGuardia, one of the most prominent and revered names in the history of New York City, had a long and illustrious career as a politician, lawyer, and military veteran. He served as the mayor of New York City from 1934 to 1945 and was known for his progressive policies, especially regarding the improvement of the city's infrastructure, public transportation, and housing. During his tenure, LaGuardia oversaw the construction of LaGuardia Airport and the Queens Midtown Tunnel and created many public works programs that provided jobs for the unemployed during the Great Depression. However, his administration also faced significant challenges, including labor strikes, corruption, and the rise of organized crime. Despite these obstacles, LaGuardia implemented policies that improved the infrastructure of the city, including building parks, expanding public transportation, and modernizing the airport. In conclusion, the fathers and makers of New York City are a diverse group of individuals who have left an indelible mark on the city's history and development. From founding fathers like Alexander Hamilton and Peter Minuit, to modern-day visionaries like Robert Moses and Michael Bloomberg, each one has contributed in their own unique way to the city we know and love today. By understanding their legacies and contributions, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the rich history and cultural tapestry of this great city.
The city of New York has witnessed the leadership of numerous mayors over the years, each with their own unique achievements and contributions to the development of the city. From leading New York through times of crisis to implementing visionary policies that have transformed the city's landscape, these mayors have left an indelible mark on the history of New York. We present a comprehensive list of the top 10 mayors of NYC and their most notable achievements. Our list encompasses a range of mayors, from those who served in the early years of New York's history to those who have led the city in more recent times. We analyze the contributions of each of these mayors, from the development of iconic city landmarks to the implementation of key social policies. Our list also considers the impact of each mayor's leadership on the city's economy, infrastructure, and social welfare. We hope to celebrate the exceptional leadership of these 10 mayors, highlighting their enduring legacies and achievements of New York City's mayors are vast and varied. Each of the mayors on this list has left an indelible mark on the city, contributing to its growth, prosperity, and overall well-being. For example, Rudy Giuliani, who served as mayor from 1994 to 2001, is known for his leadership in reducing crime rates and revitalizing Times Square. Michael Bloomberg, who served as mayor from 2002 to 2013, is credited with improving public health, expanding public transportation, and promoting sustainability initiatives. Ed Koch, who served from 1978 to 1989, is remembered for his efforts to tackle the city's fiscal crisis and for his unwavering support for the LGBTQ community. Overall, these top 10 mayors of NYC have made significant contributions to the city's development and progress. From establishing public housing and improving transportation to reducing crime and promoting diversity, the achievements of these mayors have had a lasting impact on the city and its residents. Their legacies continue to inspire current and future leaders to strive for excellence in public service and to work towards creating a better future for all New Yorkers. 1. Fiorello LaGuardia, improving infrastructure. Fiorello LaGuardia, who served as mayor of New York City from 1934 to 1945, is widely recognized as one of the city's most impactful and transformational leaders. During his tenure, LaGuardia implemented a wide range of policies and initiatives aimed at improving the city's infrastructure. One of his most significant achievements was the development of a comprehensive citywide plan for airport construction and expansion. He oversaw the completion of LaGuardia Airport in Queens and initiated construction on what would become JFK International Airport. LaGuardia also championed the construction of new public housing projects, schools, hospitals, and parks throughout the city. His efforts to improve New York's infrastructure laid the foundation for the city's continued growth and development in the decades that followed. 2. Rudy Giuliani, reducing crime rates. Rudy Giuliani served as the mayor of New York City from 1994 to 2001 and is widely recognized as one of the most effective mayors in the city's history. One of Giuliani's most significant achievements during his tenure was his success in reducing crime rates. He implemented a new policing strategy known as broken windows, which involved cracking down on smaller crimes in order to prevent more significant crimes from occurring. This approach was highly controversial at the time, but it ultimately proved to be successful in reducing crime rates across the city. Giuliani's leadership and commitment to public safety were instrumental in transforming New York City into the safe, vibrant city that it is today. 3. Michael Bloomberg, boosting economic growth. Michael Bloomberg served as the 108th mayor of New York City from 2002 to 2013. During his tenure, he implemented several policies aimed at boosting the economic growth of the city. Bloomberg's administration was focused on making New York City more business-friendly, and he worked hard to attract foreign investment to the city. Under his leadership, the city saw a significant increase in job growth, with over 400,000 new jobs created during his time in office. Bloomberg also implemented several initiatives to support small businesses, including tax breaks and access to affordable loans. Additionally, he invested heavily in the city's infrastructure, including its transportation system, which helped to improve the overall quality of life for New Yorkers. Bloomberg's economic policies played a key role in the city's recovery from the 9/11 attacks and helped to make New York City one of the most prosperous cities in the world. 4. Robert F. Wagner Jr., increasing social services. Robert F. Wagner Jr. served as the 102nd mayor of New York City and remains one of the most impactful mayors in the city's history. During his tenure from 1954 to 1965, Wagner focused heavily on increasing social services for the city's residents. He expanded the city's public housing program, built new schools, and increased funding for public health programs. Wagner also established the Mayor's Committee on Management survey to improve the efficiency of city services and worked to improve relations between the city and its workers through collective bargaining agreements. His dedication to social services greatly improved the quality of life for New Yorkers and set a precedent for future mayors to prioritize the needs of the city's residents. 5. John V. Lindsay, promoting civil rights. John V. Lindsay was the mayor of New York City from 1966 to 1973, and he is known for promoting civil rights during his tenure. He was a champion of the civil rights movement, and he worked tirelessly to end racial discrimination in the city. Lindsay appointed the first African American members to his administration, and he worked to improve housing conditions in low-income neighborhoods. He also supported the establishment of community-based programs that aim to provide education and job training to minorities. Through his efforts, Lindsay made significant strides in advancing civil rights in New York City, and his legacy continues to inspire leaders today. 6. David Dinkins, establishing community policing. David Dinkins served as the 106th mayor of New York City from 1990 to 1993 and is widely recognized for his achievements in establishing community policing. His administration introduced the concept of community policing, which aimed to bridge the gap between law enforcement agencies and the public by involving citizens in crime prevention efforts. Under Dinkins' leadership, the New York City Police Department, NYPD, established the Community Patrol Officer Program, which assigned police officers to specific neighborhoods to build relationships and work together with residents to address community problems. This program, along with other community policing initiatives, helped to reduce crime rates and improve police-community relations in the city. David Dinkins' contributions to establishing community policing in New York City continue to shape law enforcement practices and community engagement efforts across the country. 7. Edward I. Koch, advocating for affordable housing. Edward I. Koch served as the 105th mayor of New York City from 1978 to 1989, and during his tenure, he advocated for affordable housing. Under his leadership, he initiated the 10-year housing plan which aimed to create housing for low to middle income families in the city. This plan resulted in the construction of over 150,000 new affordable housing units throughout the 5 boroughs. Mayor Koch also established the Department of Housing Preservation and Development to oversee the development, maintenance, and preservation of affordable housing in the city. Furthermore, he implemented the Mitchell-Lama program that provided affordable rental and cooperative housing for moderate and middle-income families. Mayor Koch's dedication to affordable housing helped improve the living conditions of many New Yorkers, particularly those from low-income communities. His efforts have had a lasting impact on the city's housing landscape, making him one of the top 10 mayors of NYC and a champion for affordable housing. 8. William O'Dwyer, modernizing transportation system. William O'Dwyer served as the 100th mayor of New York City, from 1946 to 1950. One of his most notable achievements was modernizing the transportation system in the city. During his term, O'Dwyer oversaw the construction of the major Deegan Expressway, which connected the George Washington Bridge to the Bronx River Parkway. He also initiated the development of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which provided a direct connection between Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn. These transportation projects eased traffic congestion and improved accessibility throughout the city. Under O'Dwyer's leadership, the New York City Transit Authority was also created, which modernized the city's public transportation system through the introduction of new subway cars and the extension of subway lines. O'Dwyer's efforts in modernizing the transportation system played a significant role in shaping the city's infrastructure and enhancing its economic growth. 9. Seth Low, creating municipal reforms. Seth Low, who served as mayor of New York City from 1902 to 1903, is widely recognized for his role in creating significant municipal reforms during his tenure. A reform-minded politician, Low was instrumental in establishing the Bureau of Municipal Research, which sought to increase government efficiency and transparency by providing objective data and analysis on city operations. He also helped to modernize the city's public transportation system by promoting the construction of new subway lines and raising funds for their development. Additionally, Low was committed to improving public education, and under his leadership, the city adopted a new centralized school system that was designed to provide better access to education for all children. Overall, Low's efforts to overhaul city government and improve the lives of its residents made a lasting impact on New York City and its future growth and development. 10. Fernando Wood, expanding public parks. Fernando Wood, who served as the mayor of New York City for 2 non-consecutive terms in the mid-19th century, is known for his significant contribution towards expanding public parks. During his tenure, he took several actions to enhance the city's green spaces, including the creation of Central Park. He also spearheaded the acquisition of several other parks, such as Tompkins Square Park, Hamilton Fish Park, and Madison Square Park, among others. Wood recognized the importance of public parks in providing a space for recreation and leisure for city residents, as well as in contributing to the overall health and well-being of the community. His efforts to expand public parks played a vital role in shaping the city's landscape and improving the quality of life for its citizens. In conclusion, the mayors of New York City have had a significant impact on the city's development and growth over the years. From LaGuardia's modernization efforts to Bloomberg's environmental initiatives, each mayor has left their mark on the city. Their achievements, such as reducing crime rates, improving public transportation, and promoting economic growth, have helped shape the city into what it is today. It is important to acknowledge and appreciate the successes of these mayors as they continue to pave the way for future leaders to build upon their achievements and continue to make New York City a great place to live, work, and visit.
New York City, fondly called the city that never sleeps, is undoubtedly one of the most iconic cities in the world. This city has a rich history and has witnessed significant developments over the years. From its humble beginnings as a Dutch colony in the early 1600s to its present-day status as a bustling metropolis, New York City has undergone numerous transformations. It is a melting pot of culture, history, and modernity, attracting millions of tourists from all over the world every year. One of the most iconic developments in New York City's history is the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge in 1883. The bridge, designed by John A. Roebling, was the longest suspension bridge in the world at the time and connected Manhattan and Brooklyn. It was a testament to the city's engineering prowess and helped spur growth in Brooklyn, which became a thriving borough in its own right. Today, the bridge remains an important landmark and symbol of the city's progress and innovation. Other developments, such as the construction of skyscrapers, like the Empire State Building and One World Trade Center, have continued to shape the city's skyline and cement New York's status as a global center of commerce, culture, and innovation. In the early 20th century, New York City became a hub of innovation, particularly in the fields of art and technology. The city's thriving art scene led to the birth of the Harlem Renaissance, which saw the rise of African American artists and writers who would go on to shape the cultural landscape of the country. Meanwhile, the city's bustling port and financial sector attracted some of the brightest minds in the world of technology, leading to the development of groundbreaking inventions like the telephone, the light bulb, and the subway system. Today, New York City continues to be a center of creativity and innovation, with new startups and tech companies popping up every year and the city's museums and galleries showcasing some of the most exciting contemporary art in the world. As a global economic center, the city has played a crucial role in shaping the world as we know it today. With its towering skyscrapers, world-famous landmarks, and vibrant culture, New York City has undoubtedly left a lasting impression on the world. Its fascinating history is a tapestry of diverse cultures, races, and traditions, all of which have contributed to the city's unique identity. Throughout the years, New York City has undergone significant changes that have contributed to its unique identity. From the establishment of the Dutch colony of New Amsterdam in the early 17th century to the construction of the iconic skyscrapers that now define the city's skyline, the developments in New York City have been instrumental in shaping the city's character. The rise of industries such as finance, media, and fashion have also contributed to the city's economic growth and cultural diversity. With its rich history and vibrant present, New York City continues to be a hub of innovation and progress, attracting people from all over the world who are drawn to its exciting opportunities and dynamic energy. Let us delve into the history and developments of New York City over the years. Over the years, New York City has undergone significant changes that have transformed it into the bustling metropolis that it is today. One of the most notable developments in the city's history is the construction of some of the world's most iconic skyscrapers, such as the Empire State Building and the One World Trade Center. These structures have not only changed the city's skyline, but also symbolize its economic and cultural significance on a global scale. Another significant development is the city's transportation system, which has undergone numerous upgrades, including the construction of the subway system, making it one of the most efficient and extensive public transportation networks in the world. Additionally, New York City has been at the forefront of cultural and social movements, such as the Harlem Renaissance and Industrial Revolution to the 21st century. New York City has always been at the forefront of innovation and progress. It has played a significant role in shaping the culture, economy, and politics of the United States. The city has been a melting pot of cultures and ethnicities, with immigrants from all over the world flocking to its shores to start a new life. The skyline of New York City has also undergone a significant transformation over the years, with some of the world's most iconic skyscrapers, including the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building, gracing its skyline. Today, New York City remains a global hub of business, finance, entertainment, and culture, attracting millions of tourists every year. Its history and developments over the years have made it one of the most significant cities globally, with a rich cultural heritage that is reflected in its architecture, cuisine, and art. The city has experienced significant growth and transformation since its founding in 1624 as a Dutch colony under the name New Amsterdam. It was renamed New York in 1664 after the English conquered it from the Dutch. Over the years, New York City has played a crucial role in many significant events in American history, such as the American Revolution and the Civil War. Today, it is a bustling metropolis with a population of over 8 million people, making it the largest city in the United States. The city is known for its iconic landmarks such as the Statue of Liberty, Central Park, and the Empire State Building, among others, have become iconic symbols of the city, attracting millions of tourists every year. The city has also witnessed significant developments in infrastructure and transportation over the years, such as the construction of bridges and tunnels connecting the boroughs, the expansion of the subway system, and the establishment of major airports. Moreover, New York City has played a pivotal role in several historical events, including the American Revolution, Civil War, and 9/11 terrorist attacks. Today, the city continues to be a hub of culture, commerce, and innovation, with a diverse population and a thriving economy that makes it one of the most important cities in the world. 1. Dutch settlement in 1624. Dutch settlement in 1624 marks the beginning of New York City's rich history and development over the years. It was in this year that the Dutch West India Company established a trading post on the southern tip of Manhattan Island. The settlement, called New Amsterdam, grew to become the capital of New Netherland, and it thrived as a trading center for furs, timber, and tobacco. The Dutch settlers established a form of government that included a governor, council, and courts, and they also established religious tolerance, welcoming various religions to the colony. The Dutch influence on the city can still be seen today in its architecture, street names, and culture. The Dutch settlement in 1624 set the foundation for the city's future as a hub of commerce, culture, and innovation. Throughout its history, New York City has been a hub for innovation and progress. The city played a pivotal role in the Industrial Revolution, with its bustling ports and manufacturing facilities. It has also been at the forefront of developments in finance, law, and communications. New York City was home to the first stock exchange, and it has long been a center for international trade and commerce. In recent years, the city has continued to innovate in areas such as technology and sustainability. Today, New York City is home to some of the world's most innovative startups and is a leader in green initiatives, with a goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2050. As it has always done, the city continues to push the boundaries of what is possible and to lead the country towards progress. In the early 1900s, New York City witnessed an unprecedented wave of immigration, which brought in people from all over the world. This led to the development of new neighborhoods and communities, each with its unique culture and traditions. The city also played a significant role in the civil rights movement, with numerous protests and rallies taking place in its streets. Today, New York City remains a cultural and economic hub, attracting millions of tourists every year. Its iconic landmarks such as the Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, and Times Square continue to inspire awe and wonder among visitors and locals alike, making it a truly remarkable city with a rich history and promising future. 2. English renamed it New York. In the early 17th century, a group of Dutch settlers established a trading post on the southern tip of Manhattan Island. They named it New Amsterdam, and it quickly grew into a bustling port town. However, in 1664, the British seized control of the colony and promptly renamed it New York in honor of the Duke of York, who had recently been granted ownership of the land. The name has since become synonymous with the city, which has grown into a global economic and cultural hub. The renaming of the city was a pivotal moment in its history, marking the beginning of British colonial rule and setting the stage for the city's development into a world-class metropolis. Today, New York City remains a vibrant and diverse city, attracting millions of visitors each year with its iconic landmarks, world-renowned arts and culture, and thriving business and financial sectors. Some of the most iconic landmarks in New York City include the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, and the Brooklyn Bridge. These structures not only define the city's skyline, but also represent the city's rich history and cultural significance. The city's arts and cultural scene is equally impressive, with world-renowned institutions such as the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Lincoln Center, and Broadway theaters. Additionally, New York City has long been an economic powerhouse, with Wall Street serving as the financial center of the world. With its unique blend of history, culture, and business, it's no wonder that New York City has become one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. 3. First capital of United States. New York City has played a significant role in the history of the United States, including its brief tenure as the nation's first capital. In 1785, the newly formed government of the United States met in New York City's Federal Hall for the first time. The city remained the capital until 1790, when the capital was moved to Philadelphia. During this time, New York City saw significant growth and development, including the establishment of the first stock exchange and the opening of the first daily newspaper. Today, visitors can visit Federal Hall, which has been restored and serves as a museum and tribute to this important period in American history. Over the years, New York City has seen numerous changes and developments that have helped shape it into the bustling metropolis it is today. From the early days of Dutch and British colonization to the present day, New York has been at the forefront of innovation and progress. Some of the most notable developments include the construction of iconic landmarks such as the Empire State Building and the Brooklyn Bridge, as well as the evolution of cultural movements such as jazz and hip-hop. Additionally, the city has experienced significant periods of growth and decline, including the economic boom of the 1920s and the fiscal crisis of the 1970s. Despite these challenges, New York City has remained a thriving center of commerce, culture, and diversity that continues to attract people from all over the world. The city has been constantly evolving and growing since its inception in the early 17th century. Over the years, New York City has undergone a significant transformation, from being a small Dutch trading post to becoming the financial capital of the United States. The city's skyline is dotted with towering skyscrapers that showcase its economic might and technological advancements. New York City is also renowned for its cultural diversity, and it is home to people from all walks of life, making it a melting pot of cultures. Despite facing several challenges over the years, including natural disasters and economic recessions, New York City has persevered and continued to thrive, making it one of the most iconic cities in the world. 4. Statue of Liberty, built 1886. The Statue of Liberty, located on Liberty Island in New York Harbor, is one of the most iconic symbols of the United States. The statue, which stands at 305 feet tall, was a gift from France to the United States to celebrate the centennial of American independence. Designed by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, the statue was constructed in France and shipped to the United States in pieces. It was then reassembled on its pedestal on Liberty Island and dedicated in 1886. The statue represents Libertas, the Roman goddess of freedom, and stands as a symbol of hope and freedom to people around the world. Today, it is one of the most visited tourist attractions in New York City, drawing millions of visitors each year. As a global hub for finance, technology, media, and entertainment, New York City has always been associated with innovation and progress. The city has seen significant developments in transportation, communication, and architecture over the years. From the opening of the first subway line in 1904 to the construction of iconic landmarks like the Empire State Building and the One World Trade Center, New York has always been at the forefront of modernization. Additionally, the city has witnessed the growth of various cultural movements like jazz, hip-hop, and punk rock, which have left a lasting impact on the world. Despite facing several challenges like natural disasters and economic recessions, New York City has always remained resilient and continues to thrive as one of the most dynamic and vibrant cities in the world. 5. Skyscraper construction boom in 1900s. New York City has a rich history of architectural development, and its skyline is a testament to the city's innovation and progress. One significant period in the city's architectural history was the skyscraper construction boom in the early 1900s. During this time, advancements in materials and construction techniques allowed for the creation of tall steel-framed buildings, resulting in the birth of the modern skyscraper. The Woolworth Building, completed in 1913, was the world's tallest building for 17 years, standing at 792 feet tall. Other notable skyscrapers built during this time include the Flatiron Building, the Metropolitan Life Tower, and the Chrysler Building. The construction of these towering structures represented the city's economic and architectural growth, and they remain iconic landmarks of New York City to this day. The city's transportation infrastructure also underwent significant developments during this time, with the construction of the subway system and the George Washington Bridge connecting Manhattan to New Jersey. Through the years, New York City has seen its share of challenges, including the September 11th attacks, Hurricane Sandy, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, the city has always shown resilience and determination to rebuild and recover, continuing to be a global center for finance, culture, and innovation. These iconic structures still stand as a testament to the city's architectural and engineering prowess, and continue to be an integral part of the city's skyline and identity. 6. World Trade Center, built 1973. The World Trade Center, built in 1973, was a major landmark in the history of New York City. The complex was designed by architect Minoru Yamasaki and consisted of 2 towers, each standing at 110 stories tall. The towers were constructed with a unique tube framing system, which allowed for an open floor plan and uninterrupted views throughout the buildings. The World Trade Center quickly became an iconic symbol of American economic strength and innovation. Its twin towers stood tall and proud in the New York skyline for over 28 years until tragedy struck on September 11, 2001. The terrorist attacks that day forever changed the city and the world as we knew it. The loss of life and destruction of the towers left an indelible mark on the city and its people. But New Yorkers are known for their resilience and strength, and in the years since the attacks, the city has rebuilt and adapted to new challenges. Today, One World Trade Center stands as a testament to the city's spirit and determination to move forward while honoring its past. Sadly, the towers were destroyed on September 11, 2001, in a terrorist attack that shook the world and forever changed the landscape of New York City. Despite their tragic end, the World Trade Center remains an important part of the city's history, and efforts to rebuild and revitalize the site continue to this day. New York City has also been a hub for innovation and creativity, especially in the fields of art, music, and fashion. The city's diverse population has contributed to its cultural richness, and it has served as a breeding ground for many influential artists. The Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s saw a flourishing of African American art, literature, and music, while the Lower East Side was a hotbed of avant-garde art in the 1950s and 60s. Today, New York City remains a cultural powerhouse, with world-class museums, galleries, and concert halls attracting millions of visitors every year. Its fashion industry, centered around the famous Garment District, is renowned for its innovation and trend-setting designs. 7. September 11th attacks in 2001. The September 11th attacks in 2001 are undoubtedly one of the most significant events in the history of New York City. On that fateful day, 4 planes were hijacked by terrorists, with 2 of them crashing into the iconic Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. The attacks resulted in the tragic loss of 2,606 lives, and left thousands more injured and traumatized. The aftermath of the attacks saw an outpouring of collective grief and a renewed sense of resilience and unity among New Yorkers. The event has had a profound impact on the city, with extensive security measures and increased vigilance becoming a permanent feature of daily life in New York. The memory of the September 11th attacks continues to shape the city's identity and serves as a reminder of the strength and resilience of its people in the face of adversity. 8. One World Trade Center, completed 2014. One World Trade Center, also known as the Freedom Tower, was completed in 2014 in Lower Manhattan. Standing at an impressive height of 1,776 feet, 541 meters, the tower serves as a symbol of hope and resilience for the city of New York. The tower was built on the site where the original World Trade Center stood before the tragic events of September 11, 2001. The tower features a modern design, with a glass exterior and a spire that illuminates the skyline at night. One World Trade Center is not only a significant addition to the skyline of New York City, but also an important cultural and economic hub for the city. It is home to many office spaces, restaurants, and observation decks, making it a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. 9. Population over 8 million. New York City, with its rich and diverse history, has grown to become one of the world's most populous and vibrant cities. As of 2021, the population of New York City is estimated to be over 8 million people, making it the largest city in the United States. The city's population has steadily grown over the years, driven by a multitude of factors such as economic opportunities, cultural attractions, and a vibrant social scene. The influx of immigrants from all over the world has also contributed significantly to the city's population growth, making it one of the most diverse cities in the world. The city's population growth has presented both opportunities and challenges, and city officials have been working tirelessly to address issues such as housing, transportation, and infrastructure to ensure that the city continues to thrive. 10. Hub of finance, culture, tourism. New York City is a hub of finance, culture, and tourism, with a rich history of development and growth. As the largest city in the United States, New York City is home to the world's largest stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, and is a center of international trade and commerce. In addition to its economic significance, New York City is a melting pot of cultures, with a vibrant arts and entertainment scene. The city's iconic landmarks, such as the Statue of Liberty and Central Park, draw millions of tourists each year, contributing to the city's thriving tourism industry. As the city continues to evolve and adapt to new challenges and opportunities, it remains a global leader in finance, culture, and tourism. The Times Square as a major tourism center of New York City. Another significant development in New York City's history is the transformation of Times Square into a major tourism center. This iconic square, located in the heart of Manhattan, was once a seedy area filled with crime and prostitution. However, in the 1990s, city officials and developers launched a massive revitalization project that turned Times Square into a family-friendly destination. Today, Times Square is an electric hub of entertainment, famous for its bright lights, billboards, and bustling crowds. It's a must-see for tourists visiting New York City, and it's estimated that over 330,000 people pass through Times Square every day. The transformation of Times Square is a testament to the city's ability to adapt and reinvent itself, making it one of the most iconic cities in the world. New York City also became a hub for the arts, with influential movements such as the Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s and the birth of the abstract expressionist movement in the 1940s. The city's growth and development continued through the 20th century, with the construction of iconic landmarks such as the Empire State Building and the World Trade Center. However, the tragic events of September 11, 2001, left a lasting impact on the city and its residents. Today, New York City remains a vibrant and diverse city, attracting millions of tourists each year and serving as a symbol of American culture and innovation. In conclusion, New York City's rich history and development over the years have made it one of the most vibrant and dynamic cities in the world. From its humble beginnings as a Dutch colony to becoming a global epicenter for commerce, culture, and entertainment, New York City has undergone significant changes while maintaining its unique character and spirit. As we continue to move forward, it is essential to reflect on our past and appreciate the city's growth and progress. With its endless opportunities and diverse communities, New York City will undoubtedly continue to be a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come.
Poems to the Times Square. The Times Square is one of the most recognizable landmarks of New York City, known for its bright lights, bustling crowds, and iconic billboards. The area is an epicenter of culture, entertainment, and commerce, attracting tens of millions of visitors each year. It is no wonder that so many writers and poets have been inspired by the Times Square, weaving its energy and vibrancy into their literary works. Composing poems about the Times Square is an opportunity to capture the essence of this dynamic place, to reflect on its history, and to explore its significance in contemporary society. 1. Times Square lights up night. The towering skyscrapers of Times Square stand tall in the heart of New York City, a beacon of light that illuminates the city that never sleeps. As the sun sets and darkness descends, the neon lights come alive and brilliantly light up the night. Times Square is a dazzling display of bright lights and vibrant colors, a true spectacle that never ceases to amaze visitors and locals alike. The energy of the city pulses through every corner of Times Square, as the lights flicker and dance in a synchronized rhythm. It is a sight to behold, a magical wonderland that captures the essence of New York at its finest. Times Square is truly a place where dreams are made, and where the lights never go out on the endless possibilities of the city that surrounds it. 2. Crowds swarm, energy pulsates. The Times Square is an iconic location that has become synonymous with the hustle and bustle of New York City. As soon as you step into this vibrant and bustling area, you can feel the energy pulsating all around you. Crowds swarm the streets, creating a lively and electrifying atmosphere that is simply unmatched. The towering billboards and dazzling lights illuminate the area, making it a truly magical place to be. It's no wonder that the Times Square has become one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. The sheer energy and excitement that emanates from this place is truly contagious, leaving visitors with memories that will last a lifetime. The Times Square is a true testament to the spirit of New York City and a must-visit destination for anyone seeking an unforgettable experience. 3. Billboards tower above all. Billboards tower above all is an apt depiction of the towering billboards that dominate the skyline of Times Square. The dizzying array of electronic screens and flashing lights create a visual spectacle that is unparalleled in any other location in the world. The vibrant colors and dynamic images that adorn these billboards capture the essence of New York City's energy and liveliness. They are a testament to the power of advertising and the ability to capture the attention of millions of people in an instant. The billboards in Times Square are not just advertisements, but they are also works of art. Each one is carefully crafted to convey a message and evoke an emotion in the viewer. They are a testament to the creativity and ingenuity of the human mind, and a reminder of the endless possibilities that exist in our world. 4. City's heartbeat felt here. The bustling energy of Times Square is palpable, and nowhere is it felt more strongly than in the heart of the city itself. Here, the city's heartbeat can be heard and felt, as millions of people from all over the world converge to experience the vibrant sights and sounds of this iconic destination. The neon lights, towering billboards, and throngs of people create a mesmerizing tapestry of color and movement. A symphony of chaos that somehow manages to feel both overwhelming and exhilarating at the same time. For poets who seek to capture the essence of Times Square, this is the beating heart of the city, the place where the pulse of New York can be felt most strongly. 5. Yellow taxis, honking horns. The bustling energy of Times Square is truly captivating, and one of the most iconic sights that contribute to that energy is the yellow taxis and honking horns. As they zip through the crowded intersections, they create a symphony of sound that is both chaotic and exhilarating. For poets seeking inspiration, the yellow taxis and honking horns offer a wealth of material to work with. The vibrant colors of the taxis against the backdrop of the bright lights of Times Square can inspire vivid imagery, while the sounds of the honking horns can be used to evoke a sense of urgency or chaos in a poem. Whether you're writing about the excitement of the city or the hustle and bustle of daily life, the yellow taxis and honking horns of Times Square are sure to add a touch of authenticity and energy to your work. 6. Times Square, the Great Equalizer. Times Square, the Great Equalizer, is a pulsating hub that invites millions of people every year to witness the grandeur of New York City's commercial district. This iconic destination is a place where people from all walks of life gather, transcending boundaries of class, race, and ethnicity. The magnificent billboards, towering buildings, and the bustling crowd create a symphony of chaos that is truly unique to Times Square. It is a place where dreams are made, and anything is possible. Whether you're a tourist, a local, a businessman, or an artist, Times Square welcomes everyone with open arms. It is a place where the hustle and bustle of the city come to life, where the energy is palpable, and where the magic never ends. 7. Tourists snap photos, locals rush. The hustle and bustle of Times Square is like no other place in the world. Tourists flock to this iconic destination from all corners of the globe, eager to capture the perfect shot of the dazzling lights and towering billboards. With cameras in hand, they snap away, trying to capture the magic of the moment. Meanwhile, locals rush past, their eyes fixed on their destination, their minds focused on their daily tasks. They know the ins and outs of this vibrant neighborhood, having navigated its crowded streets countless times before. The contrast between the two groups is stark, one, captivated by the sights and sounds of this concrete jungle, the other, simply trying to get from point A to point B. Yet, amidst the chaos, there is a unique energy that permeates the air, drawing all who come to this place into its spell. It is a place of wonder, excitement, and endless possibilities, where anything can happen. And as the tourists snap photos and the locals rush by, the heart of Times Square beats on, a true symbol of the city that never sleeps. 8. Street performers entertain, beg. Times Square is a bustling hub of activity, where a diverse array of performers take to the streets to showcase their talents. Among them, street performers are a common sight, adding an element of entertainment and excitement to the already lively atmosphere. These performers come in all shapes and sizes, from musicians and acrobats to magicians and dancers. They captivate audiences with their skills, often drawing large crowds of onlookers who stop to admire their performances. However, not all performers are there to entertain, some resort to begging, a practice that is not encouraged but can unfortunately be seen in the area. Nonetheless, the vibrancy and energy of the street performers in Times Square is a testament to the creativity and talent that thrives in this iconic location. 9. Past meets present in Times. The hustle and bustle of Times Square is a testament to the vibrant energy of New York City. In this iconic intersection, past meets present in a dazzling display of lights, sounds, and colors. The towering billboards that adorn the buildings are a modern update to the classic advertising posters that once graced the streets. The sound of honking cabs and bustling foot traffic blends with the echoes of historical events that have taken place here, such as the famous VJ Day Kiss in 1945. This convergence of old and new creates a dynamic atmosphere that is unparalleled anywhere else in the world. To capture the essence of Times Square is to pay tribute to the rich history and innovative spirit of this legendary location. 10. Endless possibilities in Times. The bustling epicenter of New York City, Times Square, is a hub of activity and energy that captures the imagination of millions each year. It is a place of constant motion, with bright lights, towering screens, and a seemingly endless parade of people. For poets, the square offers endless possibilities for inspiration and creativity. The vibrant colors, the cacophony of sounds, and the sheer magnitude of the space all lend themselves to poetry. The stories of Times Square, both big and small, offer rich fodder for verse. From the bright lights of Broadway to the quiet corners of the square, there is much to explore and discover. With every step taken in Times, there is a new story, a new experience, and a new opportunity to capture it in words. The possibilities are endless, and for those willing to take the journey, the rewards are immeasurable. In conclusion, writing poetry about the Times Square is a task that requires a deep appreciation for the sights, sounds, and energy of this iconic location. The poems composed in this blog post reflect the diverse experiences of those who have visited or lived in Times Square. Through the use of vivid imagery, metaphors, and personification, the poets have captured the essence of this bustling district and its impact on the human experience. These poems serve as a testament to the power of creative expression and the ability of poetry to capture the essence of a place.
Times Square is one of the most iconic locations in New York City and possibly the world. It is a bustling, frenetic hub of energy, where people from all walks of life converge to experience the quintessential New York experience. The lights, the sounds, the people, the food, the entertainment, all of it is what makes Times Square so special. Whether you are a tourist or a local, a day spent in Times Square is sure to be a memorable one. In this short documentary, we will take you on a journey through a typical day in Times Square, exploring all the sights, sounds, and experiences that make this place so unique. From the massive billboards that light up the sky to the world-class shopping and dining options, we will give you an insider's perspective on what it's like to spend a day in the heart of New York City. So, grab a cup of coffee and join us as we take a deep dive into the vibrant and dynamic world of Times Square. A vibrant and bustling hub of activity, with towering billboards and neon lights illuminating the area. It is home to some of the most iconic attractions in the city, including the bright lights of Broadway, the impressive stores and restaurants, and the historic Times Square ball drop on New Year's Eve. Visitors can spend hours exploring the area, taking in the sights and sounds of the city that never sleeps. From street performers and vendors to live music and theater, there is something for everyone in Times Square. Whether you are a first-time visitor or a seasoned New Yorker, a day in Times Square is an experience not to be missed. For those who are unaware, Times Square is a major commercial and tourist hub in New York City, located at the intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue. It is known for its bright lights, towering billboards, and bustling crowds. The area is home to numerous theaters, shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues, making it a popular destination for both locals and visitors alike. A day spent in Times Square is sure to be filled with excitement and wonder as you explore all that this iconic location has to offer. The Times Square's history is steeped in culture and entertainment. Once known as Longacre Square, it was renamed in 1904 when the New York Times moved its headquarters to the area. Over the years, it has become a symbol of the city's hustle and bustle, attracting tourists from all over the world. The bright lights, towering billboards, and massive crowds create a unique energy that is unmatched anywhere else in the world. From Broadway shows to street performers, there is always something happening in the Times Square. It is truly a place that never sleeps, with businesses and attractions open 24/7. Whether it's your first time or your 100th time visiting, a day in the Times Square is always an unforgettable experience. Interestingly, the original design of Times Square dates back to 1904 when the area was first named. The square was designed by architect John Carrere and his partner Thomas Hastings, who had won a competition to create a new urban entertainment district in New York City. Over the years, many other architects and designers have contributed to the development of Times Square, including the famous lighting designer, Zachary Fisher. Today, the square is a major landmark in New York City and attracts millions of visitors each year with its bright lights, bustling crowds, and iconic billboards.
History of the Longacre Square. Before it was renamed Times Square in 1904, the area was known as Longacre Square. The name originated from the Longacre district in London, which was famous for its carriage trade. In the late 19th century, the area became a hub for the city's horse-drawn streetcars and was also home to many theaters and entertainment venues. As the popularity of the automobile grew, the horse-drawn transportation industry declined, and the area became known for its bright lights, billboards, and bustling atmosphere. Today, Times Square remains a major tourist destination and one of the most iconic and recognizable locations in the world. John Carrier and Thomas Hastings were two prominent architects who were responsible for designing some of the most iconic buildings in New York City during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Together, they founded the architectural firm Carrier and Hastings, which became one of the most successful and influential in the country. Some of their most notable works include the New York Public Library, the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, and the Brooklyn Museum. Their architectural style was known for its Beaux-Arts and Renaissance revival influences, and their buildings remain some of the most recognizable and beloved landmarks in New York City today.
1. Fast-paced crowds fill sidewalks. A day in Times Square, New York City is characterized by the hustle and bustle of fast-paced crowds filling sidewalks. As one of the busiest tourist destinations in the world, Times Square sees millions of visitors every year. The sidewalks are lined with an array of shops, restaurants, and attractions, all vying for the attention of visitors. The energy is palpable as people rush to their next destination, creating a vibrant atmosphere that is unique to Times Square. Despite the crowds, visitors can still enjoy the sights and sounds of the city by taking a leisurely stroll through one of the world's most iconic locations. It's a place where the bright lights, bustling crowds, and towering billboards never seem to stop. Visiting Times Square can be overwhelming at first, but there's always something to see or do. From catching a Broadway show to trying out the latest food trend, there's no shortage of entertainment options in this energetic neighborhood. As you wander through the streets, you may come across street performers, costumed characters, and plenty of selfie opportunities. Despite its reputation as a tourist hub, Times Square is still beloved by locals for its lively atmosphere and endless possibilities. Whether you're a first-time visitor or a frequent traveler, a day in Times Square is sure to be a memorable experience.
2. Shimmering lights illuminate skyscrapers. A day in Times Square, New York City is an experience unlike any other. One of the most iconic features of this bustling tourist destination is the shimmering lights that illuminate the skyscrapers. The neon signs and digital billboards that adorn the buildings create a dazzling display of color and movement that captures the attention of visitors from all over the world. The sheer magnitude of the lights and the energy they emit can be overwhelming, but it is all part of the Times Square experience. Whether you are strolling through the area during the day or taking in the sights at night, the shimmering lights of the skyscrapers are sure to leave a lasting impression on anyone who visits this iconic destination. The energy of Times Square is unparalleled, with tourists and locals alike bustling through the busy streets, taking in the sights and sounds of the city that never sleeps. The vibrant billboards and neon lights that adorn the buildings create a dazzling spectacle, making it easy to lose track of time while exploring the area. From world-renowned theaters to bustling restaurants and bars, there's something for everyone in Times Square. Whether you're visiting for the first time or you're a seasoned New Yorker, a day in Times Square is sure to be a memorable.
3. Vendors sell souvenirs and snacks. A day in the Times Square, New York City, is incomplete without visiting the vendors who sell souvenirs and snacks. These vendors are an integral part of the hustle and bustle of the Times Square and offer a wide variety of products to visitors. From t-shirts and keychains to hats and mugs, visitors can find numerous souvenirs to take back home as a memory of their visit to this iconic location. Additionally, there are several vendors who offer snacks and beverages to visitors, making it easy to grab a quick bite or a refreshing drink while exploring the area. But the real charm of Times Square lies in its vibrant energy and entertainment options. From street performers and musicians to Broadway shows and movie theaters, there is something for everyone here. Visitors can catch a glimpse of characters in elaborate costumes, take a ride on the famous Ferris wheel at the Toys R Us flagship store, or snap a picture in front of the iconic Times Square Ball. The constantly changing neon lights and billboards create a dazzling spectacle that has made Times Square a symbol of New York City itself. A day in Times